suicide remains the leading cause of death among young people in Australia.
Youth self-harm in Australia is a very serious problem.
When I was 19, I attempted suicide. I just decided then and there, I think it'd be best if I just wasn't here.
The Youth Self-Harm Atlas was a nationwide study focused on regional variability of self-harm and suicidality in Australian young people.
Our role was to recruit the young people. They had incredible feedback. The youth felt really comfortable.
This was really the first study at the national level to look at regional variability for self-harm outcomes in young people. Our nationwide data modelling was able to identify key Australian states and regions with the highest estimated prevalence of youth self-harm. So Northern Territory, Western Australia and South Australia had the highest estimated state prevalence. Our nationwide modelling also found these significant clusters of youth self-harm in each state and territory. So this included significant clustering in regional parts of Western Australia, Northern Territory, Northern and Central Queensland, as well as certain parts of Eastern Melbourne, Southeastern Adelaide and Outer Western Sydney. Our modelling also identified key risk factors for youth self-harm. For example, communities who identify as Aboriginal and/or Torres Strait Islander, youth mental illness, parental unemployment and insecure housing. And these factors had a substantial impact. Things like transport limitations, financial barriers and community stigma in particular appear to be more pertinent challenges for young people living in regional versus metro areas. In terms of climate change, we really found that young people are hugely impacted by climate change and by other recent environmental stresses as well. So things like the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as bushfires and flooding. And this has led to a general sense of hopelessness and existential uncertainty. We again saw this regional variance there in terms of people in more regional and remote areas being more impacted, it seems, by these large environmental stresses. Interestingly, and somewhat, I guess, unexpectedly, we found that young people with overseas-born parents had a markedly reduced odds of engagement in self-harm behaviours in this study. There are some theories as to why this could be the case. Young people who have overseas-born parents in Australia tend to have higher education and income, but also it's about growing up in that bicultural environment. Our team is really hopeful that the recommendations coming out of this study help to inform the ongoing youth suicide prevention planning that's happening at the moment across Australia.
It's a fantastic study because it really highlights what needs to change. We felt really comfortable that those young people felt that they had a voice, an opportunity to be heard, and that they felt supported in expressing their views.
I'm really glad that we now actually have a comprehensive first step towards understanding what impacts young people to self-harm or suicide.
This study is really strongly supporting a highly localised approach to youth self-harm and suicide prevention in Australia.
It's what people with lived experience have been saying for years, and it's nice to get some academic support on that.
The strategies that need to be put into place to support these young people need to be tailored to meet their needs, and they need to have that voice to be able to say, this is what we need in our area.
Coming from a regional community myself, every regional community is unique and have different challenges, whether it be unemployment, whether it be housing, whether it be the impact of climate change. Every regional community is unique.
The first thing that needs to be done is there needs to be conversations with youth.
3 days after my attempt, I was back at work in suicide prevention. Because it gave me a reason to get out of bed and a reason to keep going, that I was doing something bigger than myself. I want to make a difference. Life is worth living.